Hello, everybody. Welcome once again to Counselor's Couch 101. I'm Jim Stump, and I appreciate your comments and your emails, so please keep them coming. You can email me at counselorscouch101 at mail.com. You know, several people have done that, and we sort of connected with a few people out there who are joining in and helping other people who are looking for advice and support and conversation about various things that they're going through. So they contacted me and they said, "Hey, if you know anybody that needs to talk about this, I've got experience in it, and I'll connect people up." And other people say, "I'm a counselor here, there, or the other way, and if you ever have somebody who has a particular issue in this particular area, I've got experience in that." And so I'm trying to develop that network. And I appreciate all of you that have offered your services. Um, it'd be a great thing if we could do this in this country and around the world. That we pro bono offer some help and some time with folks who need it, right? Doesn't mean it has to be long term. We connect in. We can connect in and help out, get some people over a bad time, and maybe point them in a direction where they can get long term help. A lot of people who do that is because they've enjoyed some measure of success in life. They've been able to do well, or at least well enough, and they want to give something back. I mean, that's a common experience and a common feeling for people. And I think it's a really great thing for people to achieve that level in life where they feel they want to give back because they feel they've been blessed in some way. It reminds me of a story. This goes back a ways, and it's not someone I know personally. But I heard there was an interview in a newspaper article about this woman who was 85 years old. And after 65 years of being a teacher in classrooms, public schools, and like that, um, she was finally retiring. So the folks were talking with her about her experiences throughout the years. They said, "How did you cope with all those different generations?" She was a teacher in America, and she'd seen a lot of changes in society over 65 years, right? And they said, "How did you cope? Different styles, different behaviors. We had hippies and we had beatniks and we had um, all sorts of millennials and other things coming through. How did you cope with all these different changes?" And she said, "Simple. I just loved them." She was a highly successful teacher, and she was greatly appreciated by all her students over many generations. And the secret to that success was, she said, "I just loved them." What does that mean? It means she cared about them. It means she took time to get to know them as much as she could and speak to each one individually when she could, care about their success, help them with their learning. She did all those things because she loved them. She wanted to put that sort of a positive vibration in the world, and she did. And it let her be extremely successful over a lot of different years with a lot of different eras of students going through the school systems. I remember someone was talking to John Wooden, the great basketball coach at UCLA, and they asked him about his philosophy of being a coach. He says, "I'm not here to teach basketball. I'm here to raise men." He's teaching people how to be in the world, and basketball was just one means of getting there. He wanted to raise good men, men of principle, men who worked hard, um, deserved what they earned, and gave something back for all that they received. We all, it's been said, we all stand on the shoulders of those who came before us. It just happens to be true, right? And that's not a bad thing, not a bad thing at all. And often we can't pay it back, right? We can't pay it back because the person who helped us is in a different phase of life and they don't need what we have to offer. We can't pay it back. We pay it forward, pay it to the next generation. My own high school, we had a lovely lady. She was the mother of a boy who went to that particular high school years before. And she would go to all the football games at the high school, right? And she would stand at the gate and she would greet the students coming through, right? And the other people coming through. And after her son graduated from high school, she kept going to the football games. And so for years upon years upon years, she would be there. She was an icon at the school. Her name was Angie, and everybody knew Angie, right? Beautiful lady. She really was a delight. She always had a cheerful expression. She was always smiling and happy, and she always greeted people and encouraged people. If someone was down, she'd perk them up. And one of the things she did, everybody walked through the gate, she would hand them a piece of juicy fruit gum. Now, I don't get any, return from mentioning that product, but if I was going to chew gum, it's going to be juicy fruit. I'm sorry. She would always give out a piece of juicy fruit gum to people who walked through the gate and like that. And one time, not too long ago, a student walking through the gate asked her, he said, Angie, he says, how come your gum always tastes better than the gum I buy at the store? And she says, that's simple. That gum was given with love. That's why it tastes better, right? She was right. Well, Angie has passed on, and so has that other 85-year-old teacher. But geez, they left a legacy and something that we can all learn from. The way to be successful in life is to care about the people that you deal with. Someone used to say that the customer is always right. Care about the customer, go the extra mile, do what you have to do in order to meet that customer's needs. And hopefully, that customer is going to recognize that you did more than you were required to do, and that'll bring you more business in the future. If it doesn't, you will be building a reputation that will attract businesses, will attract other people. The same thing in life. Whatever activity you're involved in, do what you can to help all those people in it. It could be anything. It could be just a kind word. Listen to someone talk. If they need advice or suggestion or information, information's a big one. When people need something, looking for a new car, right? And you talk to people who know cars and people who know car people, and they can direct you. If you want to buy a new car from a dealer, they can talk about dealerships, the models, and the types of prices you can expect to encounter when you go ask about that. And they can give you advice on how to make a good deal for yourself. That is beneficial. That is sharing. That is helping. If you want to play sports, kids who want to play sports, they can ask someone who has played the game and has information and knowledge and experience on it. You can share it that way. You can show your concern that way. And you can pass it on to the next generation that way. When I was a kid, I think I mentioned this gentleman before. There was this guy, older gentleman. He was probably in his 60s when I knew him when I was a kid, around 10 years old. And I believe he had been in the military, and he got wounded in the knee somewhere in some conflict somewhere. And he came out of the military and got a job at the post office, which was a common thing to do for retired military personnel, particularly disabled. They would give them jobs and something that was meaningful and something that would give them enough money they could make a decent living or comfortable living in the out of the military community, right? This guy always wanted to play baseball. He wanted to be a member of the Dodgers baseball team, but because of that injury, it was never going to happen, and he knew that. So what he did was he took his love of baseball to the local park, and he would become a coach for the teams, and he would instruct kids on how to play the game of baseball, not only on his team, but any kid on the park he would help. Any kid from another team, he would spend time with them, show them how to hit the ball, how to catch, and how to the fundamentals, how to throw, how to catch, how to hit, how to run. And everybody called him coach, no matter what team, no matter what they're doing, even if they weren't on a team anymore. You'd see him across the park and you'd shout out, "Hey, coach, how you doing?" And not only was he gaining something from all the kids appreciating him, he was giving something of tremendous experience to the kids, showing people how we should be in the world. Talk about people giving back. He was an example of it. So was Angie. So was that teacher. These are things that we can all aspire to. It doesn't take a lot of time necessarily. It doesn't take money. It just takes some concern. It takes a willing ear to listen to what someone needs. And if you can provide it in any way, shape, or form, especially in terms of information on how to get things done, how to accomplish certain goals. Share it, right? Go that extra distance just to help people out. It goes a long way to helping them, and you'll feel better about it. The whole community is a better place to live in. We can form communities within communities. Someone once said that Los Angeles was a whole lot of communities on top of each other. And that's really true with the people we connect with and relate with and all that. There's a community there. And oftentimes those people know other people in that community, right? And there's a bond there. And there is a sharing there. And there's a value in all those sorts of relationships. So get out, participate, do what you can to be helpful to anyone you come in contact with. They say love is the answer, right? And love is what we're supposed to be doing. Hey, if you can find love in a piece of juicy fruit gum, you're doing something good. You're doing it right. Thank you for stopping by. I look forward to talking with you next time. Hopefully I'll be able to speak better. Take care.